Hi there, I'm Derek Ritter from RitterCreek.com, and today we're going to do What's in the Box for Beyond Valor. Hey there everybody, today we're going to do a What's in the Box for Beyond Valor. So let's see, before I open the package, we've got 10 map boards, 13 counter sheets, 24 scenarios, and 4 dice. Now, in order to play this, you're going to need the rule book, the ASL rulebook, and that's about all you're going to need. So this will give you the pretty much complete order of battle for the Germans, the Russians, the partisans, and I believe maybe the Finns, like a smaller version of the Finns, although that might be the old Beyond Valor that did that. Let's find out. Let's open her up. And there was a time in the first edition it came with 4 map boards, not the starter kit map boards, but the big thick ones, and it came with a lot less scenarios, maybe 8 or 10 scenarios, so this is a much bigger product. The second edition came with red barricades in it. I think it was the second edition that did, so that was worth a lot of money because red barricades was out of print at that time. But then when Red Factories came out, it had red barricades in it. So, alright, so let's open it up. My box is just a little dinged over here, so since it's going to be my copy, my next copy, thought I'd get a dinged one instead of sending it out to a customer. Alright, so let's see what we have. Here's the content sheet. So pretty much what I explained, plus 1 box and lid, and that's it. So we have 4 dice, white, black, blue, and red. Alright, good for random selection. Then we go through the scenarios, and we have, oh yeah, so indeed the Finns do come with this, because the very first scenario, let's put that aside for a second, is the Finns fighting withdrawal. Now this is good, it's all infantry, but it actually does get a little bit complicated with fires. So there's a bunch of fires on this one, and that's spreading. So good for you to learn your blaze rules. All right, and then we go to scenario 2, and that was Mila 18, and I always kind of felt weird about this one because of the subject title, but one of the classics anyway. Then we go to the something bridgehead that takes place in Poland, I guess, with the partisans, the partisan uprising, and the Russians, and 9th Infantry Regiment. I don't know if that's from the Polish Home Army or if that's partisans, but that would be against the Germans. And then a classic, the Commissar's House, and this is a old school slugfest on the city streets of Stalingrad at the Barricadi, back in the days when the scenarios were 10 turns long and everybody got a couple of -2 liters. These have some flamethrowers, demolition charges. I wouldn't mind playing that again. It's probably been 25 years since I played it. Alright, oopsies. Alright, then we got inside of the side of the Volga, more Stalingrad, and that's a pretty big scenario. 20 squads against 25 squads, 10 turns again. You'll notice how long the old scenarios were. That's changed a lot because of tournament play demanded a lot of shorter scenarios. And then red packets, I don't remember if I ever played this, but these are pretty tiny, although it's 8 turns long. There's 3 AFV against 6 AFV and some motorcycles, but only a half squad on this side, 3 squads on this side. Alright, then we have Dash for the Bridge, and we're back in Warsaw in 1944 again, and these are 6 T-70 light tanks, and 6 squads against some SS and a couple anti-tank guns, using that 37L in 1944. Must be garrison duty. And then we have the Fugitives. And this is a really, really famous scenario. And this is Berlin. And 9 turns. And I believe that the Germans are trying to escape. Maybe across a bridge. It's been a long time since I played that one too. Alright, then another 10-turn scenario. To the square. And this is Slasky Bridge in Warsaw. And this is some Russian T-34-85s, a bunch of average troops against a bunch of German average troops, and a little bit of fortifications and a couple anti-tank guns. And then the Citadel. I believe the Citadel was played in the finals of the very first Avalon Con back in, I think it was 1991, and I remember they were playing this, and I thought, who could memorize all those rules to play such a big scenario? I was just getting into it then. You had pillboxes and armored cupolas and assault guns, and it was way over my head back then. And then, but it just goes to show you, they were playing a 10-turn scenario with a combined 50+ squads. So, at a tournament, they don't do much of that anymore. So, and then I don't know. Yeah, we already looked at that. Then the borders are burning. Back to Finland, and this is the Russians against the Finns. 26 squads, and against half that many Finns. But they're the Finns. They're Superman. On the borderline, Finland again. Here we have some Finnish cavalry against some Russian armored cars and a whole bunch of troops. Again, note, 10 turns, 10 turns, seems to be a theme. First Crisis at Army Group North, and a lot of these scenarios I think were from the General, that when they came out, the latest edition of Beyond Valor, they updated them and reissued them as part of the module. So here's an early war, 3 days into Barbarossa. So you have some KVs against some little Panzer IIIs, poor little guys. And then we have Commando Schenk. Really like this scenario. This is a lot of fun. So you have demo charges and really good troops, a bunch of assault engineers going against the Russians fortified in Latvia in 41, trying to dig them out. We have land Leviathans, and this is an almost all tank battle. You have the Russians having 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 against the Germans 5. Germans have a few squads too, but it's 1941, so no Panzerfaust. And then we go to the defense of Luga. And this one has KV-2s attacking with the smorgasbord, never used that word before, of other Russian stuff from elite assault engineer, well, they're not really assault engineer, but elite Russian squads, those cool PPSH squads you see in the movies with the submachine guns to conscripts, everything in between. All right. Slamming the door. This is 1941 again, maybe when the Germans were cutting off the Russian army instead of going for Moscow. And we have 6 tanks against 3 tank destroyers, or assault guns. And nice. And then debacle at Korostan. And that's 1941 again. Half tracks, my favorite. Ooh, against some Russian cavalry. Alright. And then we have the penetration of Rostov. And that is 1942. That looks like fun. 11 turns. And then Hill 253.5. And that would be during Kursk. So we have some Panthers, an elephant, some half-tracks, flamethrowers, assault engineers, again some super heavy KV-1s, and some minefields, barbed wire, flamethrowers. 8 turns, 1 board, 1 little board 2. Nice. Alright, then we have Blockbusting in Vaucruisk, and that's 1944. A couple of tank destroyer assault guns against ISU 152s and SU 85s. Then a whole bunch of infantry. 8 turns for that one. Counterattack on the Vistula. Played this a few times, and Germans get some King Tigers. Woot. On 6 August 1944. And then we have, we looked at that already. And then we have Acts of Defiance. There's a lot of scenarios, guys. This will keep you busy for at least a week. Acts of Defiance, and that's another famous one. And that's 3 half boards. I just saw one of these, the Jagdpanzer 470, at the Canadian War Museum. Really cool. I remember seeing it there when I was a kid, and I was just back there this year. And ISU 122s and T-44s. Don't see a lot of T-44s. I think the Russians are using them in the Ukraine right now, actually. And a Brumbar, a Buddy Tim's favorite AFV in the whole wide world. And the Agony of Doom, also Germany, near Berlin, right at the very end. Tiger tanks, some Jagdpanzer 5s against some ISU 152s and ISU 122s, and another 9 turns. So these are pretty big scenarios. There's a few small ones, like this was only 6 turns, but for the most part, pretty big. All right, getting into the counter sheets. Now these are all the counters that you're going to need, the informational counters. So lots of those. I'm going to put the maps aside for a moment, and we're going to look at the counter sheets. So those are the Finns. You see they are gray. The Germans are blue. Now the first edition, they were cut horribly. They had the little fluff right in the middle of the counter. Now the part that holds them is at the edges, so it's easy to trim that off. So you got a perfectly flat edge on all the counters. That's really good. Okay, another map. And then we've got another German counter sheet. And then we've got another map. And then we've got, we'll look at the maps in a second. And then we got some of the Russians, lots of tanks. Maybe I should turn all this way. You can see it a little better. All right, more Finns over here. And then more Russian tanks. More German tanks. Sorry about the noise in the background. That's the 3D printer going. Then we have German and Russian guns. More informational counters. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff in here. Russian infantry. German and Finnish infantry. German and Finnish infantry. More Germans and Russians. And more informational counters. And an empty box. Alright, so let's start putting the stuff back in. Let's see what we have. We have board 1. That's a city board. That's from the original Squad Leader module. Before ASL, we have board 2, also from Squad Leader. Board 3, you guessed it, from Squad Leader. Board 4, from Squad Leader. Board 5, from Cross of Iron. And then board 8. Where was board 8 from? What happened to board 7? That's a good question. I don't know what happened to board 7. Oh, I think board 7 might have come in Yanks or Paratrooper or something. Board 8. Try to do these in order. Board 20. Board 21. Board 22. And board 23, the famous canal board. All right, and that is going to be everything we have. Oops. Everything we have. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.